Hey books and shelves, and welcome to a new week here at the Tube, and that's how we're gonna start it. Hillary Clinton is against Edward Snowden. The biggest, geekiest myth of all times has, well, come to an end. Is it time to say goodbye to Google+? Selfies are getting even lamer. The robots that are going to educate our children and more, but let's start with Putin. Russian President Vladimir Putin provided further indication that his administration will be tightening control over internet access in the country on Thursday when he condemned the internet as being a CIA-controlled project. Putin has long hinted that he wants a Russian-run alternative to the web. The idea of breaking up the internet has gained ground in Germany, Brazil, and elsewhere around the world in light of the revelations by whistleblower Edward Snowden about the extent to which the US National Security Agency has infiltrated Facebook and other social media. The comments comes days after executive at Russia's largest social network reported that Putin-affiliated oligarchs have seized control of their company. Putin acknowledged that there was surveillance of criminals and potential terrorists, but denied mass surveillance of citizens. Now, speaking about our fave whistleblower, it seems he has one very important hater. That's Hillary Clinton. The presumptive frontrunner for the 2016 Democratic Party presidential ticket has taken a stand against Snowden in a discussion Thursday evening at the University of Connecticut. Here's a part of her talk recorded at the scene.
When he emerged and when he absconded with all that material, I was puzzled because we have all these protections for whistleblowers. I mean, if he were concerned and wanted to be part of the American debate, he could have been. But it struck me as, I just have to be honest with you, as sort of odd that he would flee to China, because Hong Kong is controlled by China, and that he would then go to Russia, two countries with which we have very difficult cyber relationships, to put it mildly.
Oh, Hillary, yeah. The surprising thing is that the harshest critic on Snowden is coming from American Democrats, usually strong supporters of civil rights, while extreme right Republican faction, the Tea Party, usually ultra-nationalistics, have voiced some support of his action. It's all about politics, you guys. Crazy, crazy politics. And if you want to hear more crazy, here is where crazy is. Imagine if someone would have found Noah's Ark, but for geeks. That's exactly what happened Saturday when construction crews in New Mexico finally started their archaeological dig for the worst video game of all time, that's E.T. As the story goes, Atari had a lot of unsellable stock in a facility in El Paso. The publisher decided to write off the failure and dump it in a landfill 90 miles north of Alamogordo, New Mexico. Now, after 30 years that this story was considered to be an urban legend, the game was finally found on site. The story gave birth to so many myths in the geek world. It was even the base of the angry video game nerd movie. Here's the trailer.
No. They give the game to one person to design in 5 weeks. That's bullshit.
That's exactly what you say in the video.
I can't even be pissed off and have it mean anything anymore.
It's the worst game, but it's the greatest game story ever told.
I heard that Atari recalled all of the cartridges and buried them somewhere in the middle of the desert because the game was so bad.
I mean, when gamers found out E.T. was buried in that landfill, it became forever buried in our conscious minds.
I have to save the fans.
We're gonna find that landfill and prove that there's nothing under there. Maybe then everybody can forget about this game.
Yeah! How do you like the new Nerdmobile, boys? Yeah?
Great.
Love it?
Out here in the New Mexico desert, something allegedly happened many years ago. Yeah, we're talking E.T.
It sounds like they're looking for extraterrestrials.
With us to try and understand why is this the holy grail of geekdom, we are joined by Erez Ronen, journalist, gamer, and a proud geek. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
So, help me understand, why is this story so interesting?
Probably because it was a very big urban legend in the geek world. It's also a reminder that once upon a time, 20 or 30 years ago, digital media was not digital at all. It was physical. Mm-hmm. And when a company like Atari have a massive failure, she had few million copies of the game that got unsold, so they need to bury it somewhere. Today, you just delete a file. So I think more than the campy story about the worst video game in the world being found after that many years, it's a reminder of things we lost, of old times.
But let's talk about the game itself. Did you ever play it? Is it that bad?
I played as a child. I still have a copy of it in my parents' house. It was very, very bad.
We're seeing the game now on screen, or a version of it. I was told a cassette, maybe until now they found millions more of them, but it's worth a lot of money.
It depends. A cassette in a closed box is worth a few $100. A used cassette, just a cassette, isn't that expensive. You need to remember that Atari managed to sell somewhere around 1.5 million copies. But most of the customers mailed them back to Atari because the game was so bad. It was unplayable. Most of the time you could start the game but couldn't finish it because you had the game-breaking bugs that the character got stuck in the ground.
That kind of bad.
Yeah.
Unplayable.
It was unplayable. It had awful graphics, as you just saw. It wasn't good.
Okay, and now let's talk about, an urban myth. Does anybody know how it began?
I think Atari hid the fact that that they buried the game, but I heard some children that went playing in the landfill found some copies, so they came back home with copies. Their parents probably called journalists, which called Atari. Atari denied it and put cement over the landfill, so children couldn't find more games. And I think that was the start. Atari never confirmed it. And just now they are making a documentary about Atari. That's the reason the whole crew dug there. So Microsoft actually is financing.
Isn't it a bit sad that they found it?
Yes, it is. But it's I don't know. And everybody forgets these old times. So most of the gamers who back then don't play anymore, nobody will remember this game in 10 or 20 years. So maybe now, because of the new movie, People will remember
the legend about it. Let's talk a little bit about Atari. I mean, it was the biggest game company in the world in the late 70s, and now it's just the stuff of legends.
Yeah, Atari, actually, it was one of the main reasons Atari got. It never closed down. It was bought, but again, by different companies. Atari was the first big success in the video game history, and around the start of the 80s, they started to put out very, very bad games. They had the Atari, the gaming console they have back then was very successful, but they didn't care about the games. They just put out more and more garbage games, so the customers got fed up. And Atari is the prime example of that, of customers mailing them back the game, demanding refunds. And a year after E.T. was released, the company was bankrupt.
Wow, that's a sad story, but a cool one. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, let's move on. Vic Gondotra, the head of Google+, the search company's social network, has announced his resignation from the company after 8 years. This comes after reports in tech media last weekend, according to which Google is in the process of breaking up Google+'s programmer teams and splitting them between other subsidiaries within the company. Google denies the rumors, but Gondotra was the driving force behind the service that Google designed to compete with Facebook and has since extensively integrated the service across search, Gmail, YouTube, and chat. Well, that is really sad for Google+, the social network that, well, no one wanted to use. So goodbye, Plus. We hardly knew ya. And now, for the worst thing you will see today, Congressman Sean Duffy, who also starred in MTV's Real World Boston, yes, he did, has recreated the viral music video #selfie with selfies he took with his voters, his family, and unsuspecting familiar faces on Capitol Hill. But why talk? Let's watch.
All right, I'm on the way to a town hall. But first, let me take a selfie.
The video features an overwhelming number of surprise selfies like former Republican vice presidential candidate and Congressman Paul Ryan. Yes, take a look at that. This has finally killed any coolness that the stupid thing called selfie ever had. Please stop using that word. It's unbearable. And now for the hopeful story of the day, meet Bo and Yana. They are robots. They were created to help children ages 5+ learn programming concepts and creative problem solving. The company that makes them, Play I, launched their indie crowdfunding campaign, that means without the help of the website of Kickstarter, on October 28, 2013, and hit their goal of $250,000 in just 4 hours. They made $1.44 million by the end of that month. On October, the robots are going to be shipped to backers. Now, PlayEye's co-founder, Vikas Gupta, is giving the world an inside look at the company's success as he shared with TechCrunch. Take a look.
Our children are growing up in a world where computer literacy is as essential as reading, writing, and arithmetic. Introducing Bo and Yana. They're toy robots, but they're so much more than that. They're a learning and storytelling platform that makes computer programming accessible and fun. Meet Bo. Bo can be programmed to do an unlimited number of things, from basic movement, to object detection, to complex sequences of instructions. And this is Yana. Yana can detect when it is being moved, allowing children to invoke characters. These robots can detect each other, and accessories can be added to give them special abilities.
They teach the basics of computer science in one of the best ways possible. Problem solving through hands-on playtime. And our research shows that that is one of the best ways for children to learn.
Bo and Yana are designed to be programmed by children using our touch interface with music, animation, and stories, as well as existing languages like Scratch and Blockly.
We try to get them to watch less TV, push them to learn new things, but it wasn't until these robots came out of the box and our kids just got so absorbed.
We'll put a link to the whole thing on our Tumblr. It's really great. We want our robot, or a kid before the robot, or no kid, but just a robot. I don't know. I'll think about it. Now, Google Glass is the laughingstock even in commercials nowadays, as we discovered in this new First Bank ad. Sorry, Google.
Who wants more peas?
Go away.
Oh, Daddy hates pop-up ads.
Go away.
Hashtag dinner time.
Scroll forward.
Choose selfie. No. Selfie.
Go forward.
Delete selfie.
Go away.
Send picture.
Bookmark.
No.
Go away.
No, post photo.
Scroll up. Scroll forward.
Hashtag gravy.
Faster. Go faster.
The First Bank mobile app. Technology has never been so easy.
One of our favorite YouTube channels is Bad Lip Syncing, where they take a clip and change all the words but sync them back perfectly. Here's what they did to Twilight 3, much better than the original dialogue.
I
don't like your face.
You got horrible zoo hands.
And you have the record for frowning.
So I want some lettuce.
You ever just want to have a centipede, in your pocket just in case you wanted to eat it? Why would I do that? That's just... Because you'd like it? It's really weird. Suntan, that's what you need.
He's right.
I'm ready to sing. Jimmy Jam, I found my jigger. I don't speak French. I believe he said we should all make out.
I thought that we just did.
Hey, you know what? I have jeggings for my pelican.
Wait, did what?
Huh?
You just said
huh? If I ever become a cannibal, I'm gonna eat a fat fellow.
I think you're sick.
Her said a bad thing to me.
I just don't feel your
huh?
Dude. Oh.
Huh? Huh?
Super funny, and now want to know how it feels to ride a roller coaster with virtual reality market leader Oculus Rift? Well, take a look at this guy who tried it out with some good friends. Not funny at all. And that's it for today. Thanks a lot for being. And if you feel like getting more of the Tube, we are all over our Twitter and our Tumblr. It's the Tube24. And always remember, in the end, it's not going to matter how many breaths you took, but how many moments took your breath away. Understood that? Goodbye.